Imagine standing at the edge of the world where the forces of nature are on full and sculpted by millennia of relentless wind. This is Patagonia, at the end of the map, beyond civilization's edge. Vast and untamed, it feels untouched by time itself. Peaks aren't just scenery. They're monuments to Earth's wild soul. Here, the wind rules like a living spirit, sculpting peaks, splitting glaciers, and whispering through the silence of endless plains. Every step forward explores the hidden secrets behind these iconic peaks, revealing how an invisible force forged a landscape unlike anything else on Earth. Before we dive deeper, make sure to hit that subscribe button and like the video. Every support fuels our motivation to bring you deeper into the world's most extraordinary places. Are you ready to witness the untamed heart of our planet? Stay with me, and you'll see what life looks like beyond civilization's edge. Chapter 1. The Wild Heart of Patagonia. Look at this. 70 million years ago, where we stand now, was an ocean floor. But beneath the surface, something apocalyptic was brewing. Two titanic plates, the Nazca and the South American, were on a collision course. And when they met, the impact didn't just create mountains, it birthed a revolution in stone, today known as Patagonia. There are places on Earth that exist beyond the reach of ordinary experience. Places so remote, so raw, that they seem to belong to another time entirely. Patagonia is one of those places. Stretching across the southern cone of South America, split between Argentina and Chile, Patagonia covers over 400,000 square miles of wilderness. Larger than 80% of the world's countries, yet home to less than 2 million souls. For the world's wanderers, this feels like true wilderness. A place where distances are measured not just in miles, but in the courage it takes to cross them. Here, time slows. The horizon feels infinite. Clouds sweep the land with light and shadow, painting stories that change by the hour. So, as we journey deeper into this realm of granite, ice, wind, and silence, ask yourself, what does it mean to truly encounter the wild? Not to observe it from a safe distance, not to photograph it and move on, but to stand in its presence and feel your own smallness, your own fragility, your own precious and temporary place in the vast continuum of life on Earth. Patagonia doesn't answer these questions, it simply poses them. With the patient indifference of stone and ice, waiting to see what we'll make of the encounter, let's venture deeper into the end of the map. Chapter 2. Giants of Ice and Stone. The softer sedimentary layers were scraped away, exposing the granite core beneath. Look at those granite towers piercing the sky. The Torres del Paine. 3 towers standing like ancient sentinels, rising nearly 9,000 feet above sea level. The first time you see them, your breath catches. Not because you're told they're beautiful, but because something primal inside you recognizes their power. These aren't mountains you conquer. These are mountains that humble you. At 11,172 feet, there's Mount Fitzroy, its jagged silhouette cutting through the morning mist like a blade. The indigenous Tehuelche people called it El Salten, the smoking mountain, not because it's a volcano, but because its peak is so often shrouded in clouds that it appears to be exhaling. Modern climbers know it as one of the most technically challenging peaks on the planet, a vertical maze of granite that has turned back some of the world's most accomplished mountaineers. Those iconic peaks we admire, Fitzroy, Cerro Torre, the Torres del Paine, they're not volcanic. They're granite batholiths, enormous bodies of igneous rock that formed deep underground roughly 12 to 15 million years ago. Imagine magma, heated to over 1,300 degrees Fahrenheit, slowly crystallizing in underground chambers the size of entire mountain ranges. As this magma cooled over millions of years, it formed the crystalline structure of granite. Incredibly hard, resistant to erosion, destined to become the backbone of Patagonia's most spectacular peaks. But why? Why does Patagonia capture our imagination in ways that other wilderness areas cannot? To understand Patagonia, you must first understand violence. Not the violence of war or conflict, but the cosmic violence that forges worlds. The collision of continents, the eruption of magma from Earth's molten heart. The grinding advance of ice, the relentless assault of wind on stone. This landscape wasn't born. It was carved, crushed, uplifted, and sculpted by forces so immense that human timescales become meaningless in their presence. Perhaps it's the sheer scale of emptiness. Drive for hours across the Patagonian steppe, and you might not see another human being. The horizon stretches endlessly in every direction. There's a particular quality to this solitude, not lonely, but profound. A reminder of what the world was like before we covered it in concrete and noise. The technical term for peaks like Fitzroy and Cerro Torre is Horn Peak, a pyramidal mountain formed by the headward erosion of multiple glaciers. As glaciers advanced from different directions, they carved circular depressions called cirques. Where multiple cirques met, they created razor-sharp ridges called arete. Where 3 or more cirques intersected, the result was a horn peak. All sharp edges and vertical faces, a testament to the sculpting power of ice. Glaciers aren't static. They flow, driven by their own immense weight, moving downslope at rates that can range from inches to feet per day. And as they move, they carry with them rocks, boulders, and sediment, natural grinding tools that scour the bedrock beneath. This process, called glacial erosion, has a power that's difficult to comprehend. But the glaciers didn't work alone. They had an accomplice, one that continues its work to this very day: the wind. The Patagonian wind is legendary, not just strong, but persistent, relentless, almost conscious in its intensity. Gusts regularly exceed 75 miles per hour, and during extreme events, winds have been recorded at over 120 miles per hour. Hurricane force, sustained for hours or even days. This is the foundation of Patagonia's grandeur, not just its beauty, but its authenticity. These mountains aren't here for us. They're here because fundamental forces of physics, chemistry, and geology made them inevitable. We just happen to exist in a moment when they're particularly spectacular, and that perhaps is what makes them truly magnificent. Chapter 3. Life Against the Odds. At the edge of survival. Look at this landscape. At first glance, it seems almost lifeless. In a landscape this harsh, this unforgiving, you might expect to find emptiness. Barren rock, lifeless ice, nothing but wind howling through desolate valleys. But look closer, listen, watch the horizon. Patagonia is alive. Not despite its extremity, but because of it. Life here has learned something. The organisms that call this place home have been shaped by millennia of evolutionary pressure into beings of remarkable resilience, adaptation, and quiet tenacity. Let's begin on the steppe, that vast expanse of grassland that stretches from the Andes foothills to the Atlantic coast. At first glance, it appears monotonous. Endless plains of coarse grass, shrubs, and scattered rocks beneath an impossibly wide sky. But watch long enough, and movement catches your eye. There, a herd of guanacos, moving with elegant efficiency across the landscape. The guanaco is Patagonia's most iconic mammal, a wild relative of the llama that has inhabited this region for over 2 million years. Standing about 4 feet tall at the shoulder and weighing up to 265 pounds, these camelids are exquisitely adapted to Patagonian conditions. Their thick, woolly coat provides insulation against temperatures that can swing from below freezing to over 80 degrees Fahrenheit in a single day. But it's not just warmth they need, it's protection from that relentless wind. Unlike many grazing animals that lower their heads to feed constantly, guanacos remain alert, one or more individuals always scanning the horizon while others eat. This vigilance isn't paranoia, it's survival. Because out there in the shadows of those rock outcrops, the apex predator of Patagonia is watching. The puma. Puma concolor, known locally as the Patagonian puma, is one of the most successful large predators in the Americas, with a range that stretches from Canada to the tip of South America. But the Patagonian subspecies faces unique challenges. A full-grown male Patagonian puma can weigh up to 180 pounds and is capable of taking down a guanaco that outweighs it. Then comes the sprint, capable of reaching speeds of 50 miles per hour in short bursts. In forested regions, pumas are solitary and extremely elusive. Look up, way up. That enormous silhouette riding the thermals, wings spread in a motionless glide. That's an Andean condor, one of the largest flying birds on the planet. With a wingspan that can exceed 10 feet and a weight of up to 33 pounds, the condor is a master of efficient flight. In a landscape where every calorie counts, condors have evolved to be extraordinarily energy efficient. They can soar for hours without a single wing beat, riding rising columns of warm air called thermals. Condors are scavengers, feeding primarily on carrion. In Patagonia, this means guanacos, sheep from nearby estancias, occasionally marine mammals along the coast. Their bald heads aren't just for aesthetics, they're functional. When feeding, a condor often has to reach deep into a carcass, and feathers would become matted with blood and decomposing tissue, creating a bacterial hazard. The bald head is easy to clean and more hygienic. That puma watching the guanaco herd, that condor circling overhead, that ancient cushion plant growing millimeters per year, they're not just surviving, they're testifying. They're showing us what's possible when life commits absolutely to a place, when every cell, every behavior, every strategy is focused on one singular purpose: to continue, to endure, to live against the odds, and in doing so, to become something magnificent. Chapter 4. The Edge of Everything. We've journeyed through a landscape that exists at the extremity of Earth, but also at the extremity of human experience. Every death feeds life. Every life eventually feeds death. The cycle is complete, efficient, beautiful in its brutal honesty. But more than anything, Patagonia is a reminder. A reminder that Earth is ancient and will endure long after humanity is gone. Look at the glaciers, immense and slow-moving, their icy blue fronts a testament to eons of time. Quietly shrinking, yet still holding stories of climate past. Mountains stand resilient, their peaks whisked by those relentless winds that have shaped not just rock, but life itself. This is a place of endurance, where every stone is witness to a history deeper than memory. As we've seen, the forces that created this landscape are still at work. The mountains are still rising, still eroding. The glaciers are still flowing, though many are retreating in ways that should alarm anyone paying attention. The wind still blows with elemental force, reshaping everything it touches. The pumas still hunt. The condors still soar. Life persists, adapts, endures. Humanity's footprint is here too, at a crossroads. Patagonia inspires some of the most ambitious conservation efforts in the world. From renewable energy initiatives to the use of recycled materials, Patagonia as a company leads the charge toward a sustainable future, pledging carbon neutrality and continuing efforts to reduce impact at every stage of production. It's a battle against time, an acknowledgement that the choices we make ripple across ecosystems and generations. The story of Patagonia isn't just about the past. It's about the future we're creating right now. Every ton of carbon emitted affects those glaciers. Every conservation dollar invested protects habitat. Every person who walks these trails and returns home transformed becomes an advocate for wild places. Every choice we make ripples outward, touching ecosystems we'll never see, affecting generations we'll never meet. This is Patagonia, at the end of the map, beyond civilization's edge, ancient, wild, indifferent, and utterly essential. The wind continues to blow, the mountains continue to stand, and somewhere beyond the horizon, Patagonia waits, patient, eternal, magnificent, and wild.